Welcome back. The program is still Core Digest on Core TV News Lagos, and the topic we're looking at this morning is tackling insecurity in Nigeria. How can we tackle insecurity within our shores? There are several insecurity issues that we have been battling with. We talk about insurgency or terrorism, the one that Boko Haram really plagued with, especially in the northeastern part of the country, and which we're still trying to come out from. Recently, we had one case that served as a pivot, if you choose to call it that way, was out of the Chibok girls. Over 200 of them taken from the school, government secondary school in Chibok, a community in Borno State. That was back in 2014, and 3 years after, well, some of them are still in captivity. Now, that is just one case out of several others, because at different points, at different times, these terrorists invaded different communities in the northeast. Right, the most, the worst hit states of Borno, Yobe, and Adamawa, and they picked up people, children, helpless, women, elders, and all sorts was happening. Here of is the suicide bombing there today, the other one tomorrow, and the case was just not ending. But this latest release of 82 of the girls was in exchange for some Boko Haram commanders, 5 of them. And after that exchange, one of them came up with a video saying all sorts what could have befallen the other girls in captivity. Some of them have been indoctrinated, but of course the army authorities have come out to say that none of those should be taken seriously. They should be considered as mere propaganda. Well, that's that about terrorism. We also have herdsmen attack, which has been categorized as even to have more casualties than the Boko Haram insurgency in Nigeria. Herdsmen or suspected herdsmen invade communities in the dead of the night, behead, just cause lots of havoc, and by morning they are gone, but the community is still crying over what happened through the night. There is also that case of kidnapping in different communities around Nigeria. Notable men, the not so notable. At times you really wonder what the motive for the kidnap is. Is it for the sake of ransom? Is it just for vendetta? You really ask so many questions. Quite a number of them have been picked up, and then some states have even made some laws regarding kidnapping, where the kidnappers, especially those whose captives die in their custody, could be liable for a life imprisonment or death sentence. We're focusing on insecurity in Nigeria, and we're looking at how we can tackle this huge problem. My guest is a security expert. He's Frank Oyorhigho. Good morning again and welcome.
Thank you.
All right. We've got several things on our hands, on our plates, several insecurity matters we're trying to handle. Everyone should take it from this. How would you view security in Nigeria? How secured are we?
Well, I can't say we are secured, and I can say we are secured depending on the side of the divide that we are standing. Now, the government is trying its best, but the best is not good enough, and the best is not total. So, because it's not total, there are some sacred cows that you can't touch, and that's why I said it's not total. For instance, the herdsmen. In those days when we were younger, herdsmen they go with sticks. Not the best weapon they could have is probably a knife, probably to attack wolves and all that, or animals that want to fight their excuse me, I want to kill their cows. But now they go with AK-47. What gave them that permission? And they carry it blatantly. It's not that they hide it. So if even as a security personnel, if a policeman sees me on the road, he will ask me the license for my gun if I'm carrying a gun. How many policemen have stopped these herdsmen to ask them of their gun, or license for their gun? So that's why I said it's not total. They are trying, but what is like looking in the wrong direction. So the first thing is, who are these sacred cows? Who are the owners of these cows? If you see a herdsman with a gun, apprehend him and ask him where he got the gun. Number one, he's a civilian, for crying out loud. So what is he doing with the gun? And if he's going to protect his cow, is it in the daytime? How many cows, how many of these herds that move in the night time? They all move during the day. So if you are to use the gun should be wherever they are going to rest at the in the night. So let's assume because they are nomadic, so anywhere the night falls, they sleep there. But that still did not permit them to be carrying weapons. So that's why I said the fight is not total. That's on the one hand.
Yeah.
Terrorism, terrorists, and insurgency, they are two different things. Terrorism, they're sadists. They want to see blood. They want to see death. They want to see wailing. Insurgency is about an ideology, a policy, a request that has not been met, and okay, we want to create this problem so you can meet it. So what is the ideology or what is the request of the Boko Haram? So now the Boko Haram members that were arrested some time ago, what happened to them? Kabiru Mohammed, who was arrested in the government house of Borno State, who was said to be a Boko Haram member, has been released. Why? The ones that were caught, what did they do with the information they provided? We know that some of those people who carry the bomb, they are just groundsmen. Probably don't even know what happens. They are recruited, and because they are the groundsmen or the foot soldier, there are levels of communication that when it gets to them, they don't even know who has the instruction, who gave them the instruction. Fine, I agreed. But there were some that were caught alive. How did you get to this level of participating in this war or in this fight? Tell us. Then we use this information. Now we talked about information gathering. Everything is not just weapon. Sometimes you need information. How far have they gone in getting information that will help them take informed decisions? Thank you. So these are the things that we are talking. So it's not just about buying weapons, buying munitions, but there are some groundwork that ought to have been done. Then finally on that, how sincere are the people in government? There's a senator, what's his name now? I can't remember. There's accused that saw text messages that do with relating to the Boko Haram. Goji, exactly. So what happened to him? So these are questions that we need to answer. And is it that is a sacred cow? Now, some times ago, I think a year ago, or when this Boko Haram thing was gaining ground, we understand that Modu Sharif, who is the chairman of PDP, is involved. Has he ever been questioned by the authority? Because why did they come and tell me that Franco Oyorhigho is involved in terrorism? So whoever is mentioned, whether it's true or not, subject them to interrogation. You may get one or two information that will help you make more informed decisions. So is the fight against this terrorism is not coordinated, and so that's why I say we are secured or we are not secure depending on the side that you are standing.
All right, let's at this point take another break. When we return, we will continue the discussion. Please join us again.
You can now watch Core TV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
Hello and welcome to Core TV Primetime News broadcast.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click Core TV, leave a space, then news. Core TV News, a 24-hour news station.
Mr. President,
Mr. Speaker, 109 senators, 360 members of the House of Representatives, talking the talk, walking the walk as they debate on issues that concern Nigerians.
Mr. President, a time will come when the poor will have nothing to eat but the rich.
To avoid double taxation so that there is flow of business into Nigeria. Nigerians will benefit a lot.
We bring you the argument.
You don't need any accountant to tell you that some people are making fortunes on account of other people's misfortune.
Whether there was some abuse of dipping hands into any public funds of the Federation.
Accusations.
This is a good example of where corruption is not only eating into it, it's also creating a bad name for ourselves.
I've never heard the word pardon being an offense under any law.
It is not pardon. It is not incision. It's budget fraud.
Controversies.
There is a certain IG who promoted his girlfriend from sergeant to inspector to ASP.
We must have jobs and projects going in every local government, every federal constituency, every senatorial district of this country.
The recession has thrown Nigerians into economies nowadays.
Join me, Jamila Fegwa, on Gavel to Gavel every Saturday at 8 p.m. with a repeat broadcast on Mondays at 12:30 p.m.
Core TV News now live on all Androids.
Hello and welcome. This is Core TV.
Download Core TV News app from your Play Store. Click on the menu to see all our top stories from politics, sports, business, foreign news and live TV to watch us live on your mobile.
I want to know why I should be believing them.
You can also click on video to see all our YouTube videos. Core TV News, a 24-hour news station.
Is it crazy or autocracy? Or what type of crazy is that? Except crazy.
News making the headlines.
Black Maria is to carry criminals, child looters that are in government today.
Sometimes it gets confrontational.
Slap you in the face. Excuse me, don't put words into my mouth. Whatever it is that will bring our military to disrepute, I said to hell
on Core Digest.
I want to know why I should be believing them.
Every weekday, we'll bring all of these together and take them to the court of public opinion.
Everybody has a right in Nigeria.
Where you are the judge.
Thank you for joining us again. Well, before the break, we're talking about a senator who was accused of, having some messages that related to the Boko Haram. It's not Senator Danjuma Goje, it's Senator Ali Andume. All right, now, still continuing on this issue of insecurity in Nigeria and how to tackle it. On Saturday, we awoke to report about blast in the University of Maiduguri. It's the second this year. The other one too was this year. Yeah, that first one was it okay, it was January. Yes, it was January 16th of January 16th of the month of January. And in this last one we had 2 suicide bombers at different locations in the states, trying to cause mayhem there. One would have thought that with the whole negotiation deal we are hearing between government with the support of the international community, and the terrorists, that things will be rosy. We can live with at least one eye closed.
The first question was, what's the content of the negotiation? Was it to stop terrorism or to release the girls? So if the crux of the negotiation was just for the girls to be released, so that the present government can beat their chest and say the people that were kidnapped during the last government, because that's what I noticed with the politicians. They want to do something to be able to puncture whatever the other government has done, to put them at high pedestal that we are doing that. So the basis would have been, release these girls and we'll release your prisoners. So if that is the basis, then he only released the prisoners to go and fortify the troop to fight them more. So, but if the basis was, you release these girls and stop this terrorism, then you can hold them responsible. Now, the president said the release of the girls was an anniversary gift
to Nigerians.
So that tells you that the whole essence of the negotiation is to ensure that it meets up with the anniversary, so that we can use that as part of the celebration materials for so terrorists will always be terrorists, and you don't negotiate with terrorists. That was error number 1. But we
But what
couldn't
could you have done?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That we couldn't have held on because of the lives that were involved, especially children.
And when those girls came back, looking at the state of some of them, well, we know somehow they looked maybe more well-fed, well taken care of than the 21 that were released last October. But then some of them had some really, one had leg amputated, one leg amputated, the other was
bomb particles and all,
yes.
and all that. Yeah, there are two schools of thought. The first school of thought is that these girls were kidnapped truly. It's part of the modus operandi of the Boko Haram to have people they will use for their nefarious activities, their bombing and all that. The other school of thought is that this kidnap is stage managed. It's a drama. And if you look at the girls that were released, this 82, like you said, they were looking well kept. So that interprets or supports the school of thought that says that it is a game. It was just stage managed to ensure that they have something strong enough to be able to push out the previous government. Now the other 21 were not well kept, they were looking haggard and all that, supports the fact that they were truly kidnapped. Now, in both ways, whatever way you look at it, if not because they were children and female, it is not advisable that you negotiate with a terrorist or negotiate with a criminal, because there's no honor among thieves. There's no honor among criminals. They will never honor the rules of engagement that comes with the negotiation. So that's error number one. Then again, we're told that Sambisa forest has been disseminated. You understand? Now, the bomb Sambisa forest is cleared and all that. So these people that came to do this work, where did they emanate from? Where did they start? Where did they launch their operations?
Like it's a guerrilla warfare.
So now we are working with Cameroon in fighting against this insurgent. We're working with all neighboring countries. So where were they? Where is their operational base now to be able to? So that tells us probably they are still within Borno State. So if you have decimated the Sambisa forest, which is their stronghold, and then you go to bed, then you have not done anything. Because, like, sometimes as a Christian, I quote from the Bible, it said, if you drive away a demon and then you leave the place fallow, the demon will go and pick another 7 other stronger demons to come and occupy the place. So that's exactly what has happened. You decimated Sambisa forest, then Borno State, where they originated from, you didn't take cognizance of the fact that there could be pockets of them around, and you left the place, and that's why they are able to do this. If the same alertness, the same seriousness, the same professionalism they exhibited in being able to chase them away from or take over Sambisa forest, they exhibited that same level of competence in ensuring that Borno State, which is their initial strong base, is kept safe, then they would have been able to do this. So the negotiation wasn't to say, look, don't stop the terrorism or whatever, but just release the gear to us, and we release your soldiers or your members or commanders to you. So that was the crux or the high point. But now that has, you can expect them, we're going to get more.
And because video, after that exchange, video released by one of those commanders, that were released in exchange for the girls. There was so much was talking about some indoctrination for the girls, such that like even when they come back to the society, there's already something within them that they have gathered from there. He talked about their planning to bomb the FCT and all of that. The army authorities have come to say, okay, those are just propaganda. We shouldn't, pay attention to those videos. But one would have expected that this kind of deal should be able to, ensure more security.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That in the course of releasing them, did they get word from them that they won't bomb again? And has that solved their own ideology that necessitated the bombing in the first place? So what was the rules of engagement when they were to be released? Now you release a week after or a few days after, a bomb detonates. So that means we're going to get more, because these people are commanders. And again, if they say they're going to bomb Abuja, they are going to bomb Abuja. Now, reason is this: the people that these commanders were housed where? They were housed in Abuja. So that too has also given them, because with that kind of mindset, that too would have given them an opportunity to study the environment and know where there are lapses and know where there are no lapses. Fine, they've probably been in prison, but people stay in prison and commit crime outside the prison. So now that this has happened, these people have been with us for quite a while in our prison, know the environment. It's just to go back and say, this is what I saw, this is where I think we can penetrate from. So the job has not been done. It's not yet to huru. The same level of strength with which they fought at Sambisa Forest they should still maintain that same level. If not, you think that they have 9 lives. Look at Shekau. You kill him today, tomorrow he comes out, they say, oh, he has not dead. Now they told us that the current Shekau has been injured. He's somewhere receiving treatment in a neighboring country. Fine. He's not dead. So he's still going to get healed and then come back. So even personally, as I speak to you, I don't even know whether Shekau is an ideology or is a human being. So because he has been killed several times. And this army is telling, the army authority is telling you that you shouldn't mind them. We have to mind them. If we don't mind them, they will catch us on our way again. So the University of Maiduguri bombing is just an eye opener to tell us that we have not won the war.
And then that day they were to sit for the Unified Tertiary Matriculation exam, the UTME exams, and of course the process was delayed as a result of that blast. Who wouldn't want to run for safety? The people would want to stay back and...
are we not even fortunate that it's not even when they were writing the exams that this happened? So we have not gotten it right yet.
All right, let's get back to talking about herdsmen now. You know, when all of this began, you may want to point to Benue State. There are 2 people which really caught the attention of the world. But then afterwards, we heard about them in some communities, even in the southeast, which we know there are nomads there, but you know, it's not as rampant as we have in the core northern state. I know you've spoken about this before, but how can we now begin to manage the situation? How can we stop or prevent the recurrence of these things we've experienced in the past?
The government needs to show that they're in charge. Let me give you an example. Number 1 is a mentality. The average herdsman believes that the average herdsman is a Fulani man and believe that their Fulani father is the one in charge, is the president. So nothing can happen to them. That's an average attitude of a Fulani man. And that happens to anybody. If an Igbo man is a president today, the attitude of an average Igbo man will change towards every other person. So it's normal. Now, if you go to Agege, where you have the railway, before that near Fagba, where you have the railway, that place is dominated by the herdsmen. The circle, is near the abattoir. Now, for the past 1 month, there's supposed to be a shortcut there that takes you to make you avoid the traffic at Jonathan Coker. Now you can't pass there, and they don't feel sorry for it. Even if you get there, the cows are on the road, the trailers are on the road. You can be there for 2 hours. You can. My house is opposite the place, so it would be easier for me to just pass through there and get to Fagba. But now their attitude tells you that they tell you that we are in charge here. So if you don't like it, go back. So the government now you know what? The government came and dislodged them from the railway. You know, they were building, all their shanties were on the railway. Now the government dislodged them, and then that came to the road itself and divided the road into 2. Put their shops midway of the road, and then the cows take over the other part of the road. So if the government is decisive and say the law is the law, you can't come here and misbehave and deal with them, everybody will take cue. But the government is complacent, nobody cares about it.
When you talk about government, do you mean government at the center? I mean the federal government or
everywhere.
State? Because we know that some states have made moves. For instance, the Ekiti State Governor, Ayodele Fayose, did make a law that prevents them from moving at particular time of the day and from invading.
Yes, can they try it in Ekiti now? Because the government there is decisive. So let every government become decisive and take a cue from the Ekiti State government. They will shield their power. So that's what we are saying. Right from the federal government to the point that the federal government at a point sent a bill to the National Assembly and said that people should create a ranch for the cows. You don't come to my state and tell me what to do. If the federal government wants to create a ranch for cows in Abuja, fine, you go ahead and do that. But don't come to Lagos and tell me that it's a national law that now you now create. So there are now national babies that we need to care for. So that's the problem. So until each government take a stand and say, look, you don't come to my territory and misbehave. If you misbehave, I deal with you within the confines of the law. They will keep their space. So we are told the government at the federal is complacent, and some other governments are complacent. Today, let a herdsman deal with a government let me say entourage. Let's say Governor Ambode is going somewhere and then the herdsmen are on the road and probably break the glass of one of the vehicles and all that. You see what will happen.
All right, let's now move to another security issue. Let's talk about kidnapping. At different times before, it used to be known with maybe militancy, just to make them scared that you can't come to us all and act anyhow. But now just about anyone is picked up.
Yes, and it will continue. You know, in the world history, world economic history, kidnapping is the second most lucrative business after oil. So in Mexico, kidnapping is the first business, and in some other countries. So it will continue, and it's going to be worse in Nigeria because the economy in Nigeria is even getting worse by the day, and people want to survive, and then our politicians are not even helping. We cry that there's no money, no food. Before you leave your house in the morning, no food. In the afternoon, no food. You come back at home in the night, you struggle to eat, you struggle to feed your children, you struggle to pay school fees. There's somebody somewhere using $39 million to buy a vehicle, or $28 million or whatever to buy a vehicle, and everybody wants to get a piece of the cake. So if I know that I don't have the ability to carry a gun, and I'm not strong enough or I'm not bold enough to become an armed robber, I know that one kidnapping, the person that you kidnap is helpless, and the family members are helpless. They will do something. So if I cannot get the 350 billion that I demanded, if I can get something that can take care of me.
But does that make it right? Does that justify it?
It does not justify it. That's what I'm saying. So, but for us to tackle kidnapping, which is domestic problem, we need to look at, first of all, our social justice. What is our lifestyle? That's on one hand, because it's like a conspiracy theory. If you kill 10 today, if you don't take care of the problem, another 20 will rise up. So it's not about killing the people, but taking care of the issue that led to kidnapping. So first of all, when you catch any kidnapper, I like what Lagos State law is death penalty. So when you are going to kidnapping, you know that it's either A or B. Either you survive or you die when you are caught. So that's on one hand. But that will not, in the long run, that's for the short run. But in the long run, we need to ensure equity. We need to ensure social justice. We need to ensure that people have food on their table. And luckily for the kind of government that we have, Nigerians are not difficult to please. If Nigerians can have food today, have shelter, and have power supply, everybody will stay calm in their place. Just the very few are greedy. But now the basic necessity of life, shelter, food, and clothing, you don't have them. So people will always go there. So, but to answer the question directly, the government needs to be decisive on kidnapping. And we've always advocated that apart from the hardware, we need to introduce background check as a policy, so that people will be able to know who are people that are around them. Kidnappers don't live in the forest. They will carry their activities out in the forest. They come back to their homes to come and live. Their neighbors, do they know them? What job do they do?
Oh, that's good. All right, so much about insecurity in Nigeria, but they are not issues beyond our reach. They are matters we can handle if only we have the right machinery in place. Let's continue this conversation on social media, on Twitter at Core TV News NG. You can follow and tweet at us. You can copy me at Prof. Bosse. I am Abosedi Omowi. From all of us here, thank you again for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day. God bless Nigeria.
Is it crazy or autocracy? Or what type of crazy is that? Except crazy.
News making the headlines.
Black Maria is to carry criminals, treasure looters that are in government today.
Sometimes it gets confrontational.
Slap you in the face. Excuse me, don't put words into my mouth. Whatever it is that will bring our military to disrepute, I said to hell
on Core Digest.
I want to know why I should be believing them.
Every weekday, we bring all of these together and take them to the court of public opinion.
Everybody have the right in Nigeria.
Where you are the judge.